Okay, you touched on one other scenario that I want to go back and check on. So let's go back and put everything in the original position for one other thing here just to help you identify this. So we went back and we put fifth thirds now back in first position like it originally was. Then remember I got I'm going to go back and add the HVAC loan, lien. So now I have three liens. I have the first for 100 at fifth third. I have a second at PNC for 50. Then I had my HVAC worked on, didn't pay it. I got a mechanics lien put out for 10 grand. The guy that's got the third here, by the way, is what we call out of the money. And you can see why, right? Because I owe 150, 100 to the first, 50 to the second. The house is only worth 100. The last 10 is out of the money. Okay, so fifth third now calls me and says, Raymond, we want to refinance with you because you're a good person. I say, sweet, I'll refinance. So a refinance is a what? Repurchase. It's a repurchase. It's a legal sale with a repurchase. So it's going to go away, and it's going to come down here, fifth third, for 100 grand with today's date. We're going to make up a date just for the people at home. 2 slides up and becomes what? 1. So PNC originally was second lien. I pulled the Jenga part out. It now slides up to 1. The HVAC that I had on my property, which was out of the money, was in third. It now slides to 2. Fifth third comes in with today's date. It is now what position? Third. Do you think this is going to happen? Because now what happens? Now the first money goes to who? PNC, the 50 grand. Who gets the second money? The HVAC lien that was out of the money now moves into the money because we pulled the Jenga part out. And the third goes to fifth third, but there's not enough to even clear that. Everybody see the math? There's actually only 90,000 after I pay the 50 on the first, the second, which is 10, that leaves me 90 grand, but I owe 100. Once again, they're out of the money. Anybody panicking yet? Because fifth third is. They're starting to get a little panicked. But wait, there's more. So I'm standing first in line at the movie theater. Who was second? Maggie was second in line. Ethan now comes in. He's third in line. I walk out of line to go to get some popcorn. I come back. I should come back in third, which is what we've got. But I look up to Maggie and go, hey, I have got a subordination agreement with you. We get to switch places. Meh. Why not? Because Ethan's between us. My subordination agreement allows you to switch adjacent properties, not jump properties. So I can't exercise from the third position up to the first because I got to go around the guy in second. So theoretically, if you think about it, when someone cuts in line, what they really should do is start at the back and go, can I cut in front of you? Yes, move up 1. Can I cut in front of you? Yes, move up 1. Because when someone walks in way up there, you're like, hey, what are you doing? You didn't ask my permission. It's the same concept. Is Ethan going to say yes if I ask him to cut in front of him? No, because then he'd go right back out of the money. So he's going to say no. So the reality is, and someone asked this question, what's going to happen? Fifth third's going to call me and go, hey, Raymond, we want to refinance your loan. come in tomorrow, we'll have all the paperwork drawn up, we'll give you 0% interest. I get in there and they're going to go, time out. We can't do this deal. We cannot refinance you because if we do, we move out of the money. So the reality is, while this looks good on the board, it literally would not happen. Because they can't get back to first. If there was just the two of us, they could use the subordination and switch first and second. But since they come in third, they got to go from third to second, then second to first. And the guy in second's never going to let it happen because then he'd be out of money. So Fifth Third would call me and go, hey, sales rep here, we want to do your new mortgage. Come on, let's refinance. I go in, and their banker's going to go, Mr. Modulin, we can't do this deal. You have a third lien that is blocking us from refinancing. Everybody see what I'm saying? So while you have a subordination agreement, which is an agreement to switch places, it's only the two adjacent places. Now, I could have one to go from fifth to fourth. That's cool. Fourth to third, third to second, second to first, yeah. But I can't go from first to third. Can't go from fifth to second. Subordination are just the two adjacent priorities. So the key to this is recorded by date, paid off by priority.
Will they take a chance if your house values at 180, let's say?
Would they take a chance? Well, you're into what I said we're not going to talk about. Yes. Hopefully, if this truly scenario kind of happened, and they say, it's refinanced, let's do a new appraisal, and your new appraisal comes in at, say, 190 now because it's been 5 or 6 years, they're going to say, okay, now the value's sufficient enough where we probably, what we'll do is refinance 110,000, pay off that third HVAC loan for you, come in at second, then use the subordination to go back to first and completely pay off that guy.
Because I know people in 2006 that got way too much for their house. It should have never appraised for that. And when the housing market fell through, they lost like a ton of money. So it was a mess.
You only lose money when you sell.
Yeah.
It's an old stock market thing. When people go, I'm losing money. No, you're not. You haven't sold it yet. You may be down, so you just got to wait. There were plenty of people in 09 and 10 and 11 that we told, hey, we can't sell your property now. You might want to wait 2 or 3 years. Market will come back and your house will sell. You will lose money now, but don't sell now. Just sit tight. I know you want a new house. Geez, I want a Ferrari, but I can't afford it. All right? That and I can't get into one. Buddy of mine has a Lamborghini. And I tried to get into it. I looked like a retarded St. Bernard getting in. Once I got in, it was cool, and it was fast. We got out right out here on Emerson, and you know where it bends around and becomes Smith Valley? Between here and there, he went from 0 to 90 and back. I mean, you could feel the blood move in your body. That's how fast it was going. And it's only about this tall. So maybe I wouldn't want one. But the point being is, you couldn't sell, all right? Now I want to do one last thing, and we always talk about if you got kids in school, have you guys signed those anti-bullying clauses? You guys want to see the biggest bully in the world? Here's the biggest bully in the world. So I've got 3 liens up there. First, for Fifth Third, 100 grand. Second is my second lien from PNC, sometimes called a home equity loan or anything you might want to call it like that. For 50, I got this HVAC loan for 10, but guess what I didn't do today? I didn't pay my real estate taxes. So the real estate taxes come in, real estate taxes with today's date, and they're 5 grand. Today's date, let's just make up a date that's after that one. May the 1st of 2016. Because of the date, it got recorded 4th. Do you think the government's going to allow that to happen? No. Where are they going to go? You think they're going to go to 1? Somebody tell me how they're going to go to 1. And you talk about bullies, watch this. The real estate taxes will become number 1 because this is what they do. Ta-da! They literally get rid of every lien in front of them. Gone. And now they're number 1. So it's not like they go to number 1 and everybody slides down. No. If your house goes to a tax lien sale, all the liens go away. Your mortgage lien, your HVAC lien, your second lien, all go away. How's that for a bully? You guys are all looking at me like I'm crazy. Have you ever heard of this term? Who's got a house payment that is escrowed? What does the word escrowed, when people say, oh, my house payment is escrowed, they're paying your taxes as part of, and for those of you at home using finger quote, house payment. Why are they collecting your taxes for you? Ta-da! They're doing it because they love you. No, they're not. They're doing it to protect their own butt so that when the taxes come due and you reach in your pocket and go, oh, I don't have the taxes, they're like, don't worry. For the last 12 months, you've been giving us an extra $100, which we have been putting in an escrow account. We'll pay your taxes for you because they don't want to lose their lien when an unpaid real estate tax lien takes over, because it will go away. They've lost the house, they've lost the money, they've lost the collateral, and they're out. That's literally why they do it. They also do homeowners insurance for the same reason. They don't want the house to burn to the ground, which is the collateral, and you go, well, I didn't buy new insurance, couldn't afford it. Same reason. They go, don't worry, your homeowner's insurance is due. We have been saving an extra $25 from your, finger quotes, house payment. We'll pay your homeowner's insurance. So when someone says my house payment is escrowed, what they're saying is we are putting every month a little of that money into an account for my taxes and then a little into an account for my homeowner's insurance, so the situation never arises where that happens. All right? So when people say it's escrowed, that's what they're talking about, so that the tax lien never really becomes a lien. Because if it does and it goes to the tax sale,
Aren't most people escrowed though? I would imagine
I'm
that's...
not. All right? Typically the key, if you borrow more than 80%, the bank will escrow you. If you borrow a conventional loan, and this is not in the book here, I'm just telling you, the assumption is before you would get into a problem with your taxes, most logical people would sell their house and dump it on the market rather than have all this problem. So if you've got 80% loan, you can easily take your house to the market and drop it 10% and beat the market, but yet still pay everybody off. So the theory is if you're 80% or less, most don't escrow. If you get anything higher, like an FHA loan or a VA, where it's a high loan to value, they will escrow for you. Some people ask their bank to escrow just because they don't want to come up with a $700 payment once a month. I'd rather pay $20 extra a month and not really miss it than have to write a $800 or $900 check every 6 months. So some people prefer it that way. So that's how real estate taxes become a bully. They come in, they become number one simply because there is no other. All right? Now, as you pay your lien off, you've borrowed money from Fifth Third, 100 grand. Let's go back to the very first one. That's the only one you have. You make your house payment every month for 30 years, and you pay that loan off. Fifth Third will send you what's called a release of the lien, and then you will record that in the recorder's office. And if you remember back when we talked about title searches, the title company will search the records. They will see a lien put on your house in 1980. Then they will see the release that you recorded in 2010. That's the net zero. So you got a $100,000 lien, and then 30 years later, you've got the release of that lien, so that house is now free and clear. So the releases are sent to you when they're paid off. Some banks record them directly. Me, I would rather them send me the release and let me go record it. That way I know I'm in control. All right? So that's the release of the lien.